Welcome to TORAH Talk. I am your host, William Hall, broadcasting live out of Kingsland, Texas, USA, with episode number 46 of TNT, the Twisted New Testament, with Rabbi Stuart Federow from Houston, Texas. Welcome to the show, Rabbi. Welcome, everybody. All you viewers
Good to be here.
It's awesome. Lovely. Good deal. It's really weird. It's freaked me out. As soon as I pushed the play button, the phone rang. I was like, whoa, but then I think they hung up. So call back.
That might have been our first question.
Yes.
That could have been the best question of the night.
It could have been.
That could have been the only question of the night.
I'm sure I have plenty of questions for you. Oh, man. Like, what in the world was that song you were singing while we were practicing up? I'm just kidding. Okay, so, yeah, that caller is no longer on. The phone lines are open. So want to say hi to Jason, my good buddy. Good evening. That's my Bible, Twisted Shalom, Twisted New Testament. This is just a real nice surprise. Lori Cash, hello, sweetheart. Thank you. That's my Bible. Howdy, Shalom, y'all. Federow's here again. I don't know. I can't get rid of that guy. The phone just rang again and it hung up again. I wonder if there's something wrong with my system.
No, it's somebody harassing you.
Let me log it out, and I'm going to log
You're going to pick up the phone. They're going to say, do you have Prince Albert in the can?
Pardon me, would you happen to have any?
You're going to say, is your refrigerator running? Well, you better go catch it.
One of the stupidest ones we used to do, it was so horrible. We used to call home. I'm going to kind of cover you up here. We used to call up and say, lady, your cat's on my porch. She says, I don't have a cat. I say, well, we don't have a porch. That is like the lamest of the lame, but it was funny. It was funny. Remind me later. Okay, I just re-logged in to the phone lines just in case there was something wrong with my ability to take the call. So the phone number's on your screen. 855-95-BIBLE. And no, this is not MetaShare, well, fortunately for us, but not fortunate for the people who keep calling the voicemail, leaving MetaShare questions. It's interesting, even though it's a similar phone number, they still have to listen to my voicemail before they can talk, and they still want their MetaShare.
Hi, this has nothing to do with MetaShare, but thank you for calling.
Then
you should give them no, it's a Bible and it's MetaShare, which is very Christian. You should say, hi, this is not MetaShare, but please take a look at Deuteronomy 24:16. Give them a Bible lesson when they call.
I got to get my
I
got to put my anti-glare glasses on. Oh, yes, indeed. Okay, cool. Well, I think I've got everything set up here.
Hey, that man has eyes. I can see his eyes now. There's no glare.
I know, right? The thing is, these glasses have got a really, a fairly deep, like, gouge. Not necessarily a scribe, but a line. I could probably get polished out, but the reason why I don't wear them to work is because it's difficult to see out of it because of that one little stripe right in front of my eye. But I can use them here. It's good. It's good for the anti-glare part. Very good. Wow. Okay, cool. Let me, I'm not paying attention to YouTube yet, but I will. Let's see if we can see what's happening there. And it looks like, oh yeah, I did actually check it once. We got 20 viewers. Hello, everybody. So good to see y'all. Grant Dunn, Shalom.
Yes, Michael. We want to see the notes on your speech.
Okay.
Love to see that.
Okay, I just realized one thing. Let me pause this because I got a call coming in and I didn't see it. I didn't hear it because the music was turned. There it is right there. Oh, come on. One more time. Come on. It's just got to pop
please.
Up. Yeah, they're actually...
Call me. You can call me.
There is definitely something awkward going on with my phones.
Because, man.
Yeah, because they've called 3 different callers have called in, and it's like I see it, but I don't hear it ringing, and before I get a chance to click on it, it disappears. Now, maybe I should go ahead and update it keeps asking me to update, and I say later. It's been doing that for 6 months. Maybe I should go ahead and let it update. I don't know. Interesting. Nope, see, it just did it again. It did like a half a ring, and it hung up. Okay, so if I can find out who's calling... And I can't because they're not even registering. That's okay. We'll go ahead and if you guys on YouTube land have any questions, put your question on YouTube. In fact, if you're calling in right now, put your question on YouTube and we'll actually read it from there. So, but the topic for tonight that we're going to go into is going to be the whole idea of Christmas is not the same as Hanukkah. I'll leave it at that for now. That's the general idea. It's not the same, even though. See, there it goes. Can I? Oh, I got it. Hey, welcome to the show. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from.
It's Stuart Federow. I was wondering what was going on, so I decided to try and call.
Whoa, you're like in stereo, dude. I don't know. Maybe it was the person wasn't getting through then because
wait a minute. If I sing right now, am I singing with myself?
Yeah, but you're
I can actually do a chorus, choir.
Yeah, you're singing lead and backup, basically.
All right, so it's working now.
Apparently, it was already working. I don't know. Maybe the person who was calling maybe there's something wrong with their phone.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'm getting off.
Wait. Do you have a question for Rabbi?
This is me talking to me. Oh.
I hung up on you. Oh, that's just.
I was about to say. This is me talking to me. It's like somebody schizophrenic, you know.
Me, myself, and I. Oh, that's great.
Me, myself, and I. Right.
Oh, that's my Bible says. I wish we could go back to rotary phones. What are you, crazy? No way, dude. That would drive me nuts.
Electronic switching systems.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, cool. Now let's see if I can get to it before it disappears. And there you go. That better not be you again. Welcome.
Not me.
Welcome to the show. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, is this the MetaShare number?
That's funny.
No, for real.
That is funny.
I think you just made my day, man. That's just hilarious. Okay, let me take a breath here. Okay.
It's me, Brock, from Southeast Missouri.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing. I recognize your voice. I forgot your name, but I do recognize your voice. But that was perfect. All right, Brock. What's the question for Rabbi?
Yes, my grandfather passed away not too long ago.
Okay.
And
sorry to hear that.
Before he passed, if I would go to his church for him once, like a couple times a year, more or less as if he would still be going. I don't feel comfortable doing it, but he did ask me before he passed, and I feel guilty about not honoring his request.
Right. Question for you: were you on this journey before he asked you to make that vow? I mean, realistically, I don't think it matters.
I was converting beforehand, yes.
I got you. Rabbi, I'm going to let you take this because this is.
Would you mind repeating that real quick? Before he passed away, what did he say?
He asked me to go to his church for him a couple times a year, somehow, so it'd be like he was still going himself.
Like standing in for him at church.
Judaism before he asked me to do that, huh?
So he wanted you to stand in for him at church after he's gone. So it's like he's still there. And at the end of the day, his grandfather already knew that he was going to be converted to Judaism. So is he still bound to do that, even though that's forbidden to be in a place of idol worship?
Well, I'm trying to think of a perfect analogy, and I guess no analogies are perfect, so you'll pardon me for the stupidity and imperfection of the following. But if he would have said, gee, in memory of me and everything I believe in, I want you to commit adultery every year.
I was thinking the same exact one.
Okay,
yep.
Or commit murder for me every year, or steal something from someone every year. Do you see what I'm saying? You would be bound to say to him, I believe, something to give him comfort. Okay, because he's not asking you to steal, and he's not asking you to rob, and he's not asking you to murder, and he's not asking you to commit adultery. Okay, he's asking you to do something that from his perspective is neither immoral nor unethical nor bad or anything like that. So I think you would be bound to say to him something that will give him rest and peace. But frankly, no, I don't think you are actually bound to do it. Because what he's asking you to do is actually against the religion you've taken on.
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. Wow.
It is a good question, and I'm not even sure offhand that my answer is a good answer.
Right.
Okay, but that's why it's a great question. I'm not used to being asked questions
Sure.
I haven't heard 1,000 times before.
Right. Brock, thank you, brother, man. That's a great question, and sorry for your loss.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
brother.
you.
You betcha. Take care, bye.
See, I don't think that he's duty bound to follow through,
Right.
but I'm glad that he would have said something to his grandfather to give his grandfather a little peace and rest. But
I think you have a call
maybe
coming in.
there are other ways. I hope he's still listening, but maybe there are other ways that he can partially fulfill it, like if the church is having a play day in the park.
Oh yeah, something
Okay, or they're meeting.
off the
In other
property.
words, it's not a church service.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but it's something something for the church that people from the church would likely to be at, so that he can say, "Hi, I'm here on behalf of my grandfather. He wanted me to be remembered to you. He wanted to, he wanted to be remembered, so I'm here." But not at a church service, but rather some sort of social or something like that.
Right. Yep, that's a good one. That's really good. Okay, well, unless the phone rings, we will go ahead and move into a topic you and I have briefly discussed on. And,
so
just for
because
grins,
William, what I hear is you're about to celebrate your Jewish Christmas.
Hey, you're going to have to comment on the Hanukkah bush. Oh man!
What do you mean? What do you mean? We made the oil for the Chanukiah red and green oil.
You're too crazy.
It's funny because it's
oh boy,
a disgusting thought, but
that's just crazy.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so I just had a flashback memory of when I was celebrating Christmas, something really ridiculous that I did, and in my mind, it's something I would never tell you what it was, but it was so ridiculous that it was almost equivalent to that what you just mentioned, incorporating a blend between Christmas and Hanukkah.
Syncretism.
Yeah. So, and the thing about it is, there's so many people who really don't know the harm in it, and I think it's why I want to discuss it tonight, to really let people know, that. Well, there's going to be questions I'm going to put out, and I'm going to say some statements tonight that's going to challenge some of the followers to think more, and you may even disagree with my outcome, with Rabbi's outcome, but at the end of the day, we're all discussing this openly, and we're just trying to find out a better way to become closer to Hashem through all this. So, there's I saw a post on Facebook a while back where someone was mentioning something about Christmas decorations, and it seemed like that kind of spun out of control on how everybody was handling that post. And so I have a question. My first question is this for you, Rabbi.
Okay.
If my because here's my understanding, the Torah is set apart for the Jewish people.
True.
Not for the ungodly, not for the rest of the world. It's set apart strictly for the Jewish people, or those who choose to convert, or those who choose to acknowledge God as one and follow as a Noahide. So with that said, understanding that, would it be safe to say that my neighbors all around me in the front and the back, side to side, who are setting up all these Christmas decorations, that they're not doing anything wrong in their world, because they're not supposed to be following Torah anyway? They're just living according to the world, and that's what the world does. And if that is the case, then when they say, hey, like for example, one of my neighbors is really genuinely trying to be nice, drives by, and he knows that we are following the path of Judaism, and one year he went by and said, hey man, I just want to say Happy Yom Kippur to you. It kind of threw me back, because I was thinking, wow, this guy, it's not even around a Christian holiday, but this guy like tracked down the day, knew when it started, just so he could drive by and say, hey, Happy Yom Kippur to you. Being just genuinely trying to reach out and be nice.
I think that's great.
I do too. And I'm saying, what happens if he comes by this year and says, hey man, Happy Hanukkah. Should I just say thank you, or could I say Merry Christmas to you? Because he doesn't, he's trying to respect my holiday. Should I respect his in the same way? Can I respect his in the same way? Or is there a problem with that?
I can only give you my opinion on this.
That's all I want.
Okay, my opinion is non-Jews were not at Sinai.
Okay.
Okay, non-Jews were not given the Ten Commandments.
Right.
And yes, even though it is part of the mitzvot of Noah, the
Shiva Mitzvah.
laws of Noah,
Right.
okay, not to engage in idolatry, they have to accept Judaism's view of the existence of the laws of Noah before they would know not to participate in idolatry.
True. Right.
And most Christians don't even know the concept, they don't even know the term
Right.
covenant with Noah. They don't think of that.
Right.
Okay, so that having said that, I want non-Jews to acknowledge me and my holidays.
Right.
In order to do that, I don't mind acknowledging them and their holidays.
Right.
I have no problem saying to some of my Christian friends who know that I think Christianity is idolatrous.
Oh, good. That's a good point.
They know, these are ministers and priests. They know exactly. They've got my book.
Right.
Okay, so they know how I feel. But I still wish them a merry and blessed Christmas because it's their holiday, no matter how I see it. I want them to respect and acknowledge me and mine. I'm going to respect, more or less.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Them and wish them a happy for their holiday.
Right. If you're looking for, I would say if you're looking for an avenue out and you're not comfortable telling your neighbor or your friend at work or coworker, whatever, Merry Christmas, then maybe you could just tell them, hey, use just a general term, Happy Holidays,
William, let me tell you something interesting that the priest on my radio show said.
Okay.
He said he doesn't like this idea of saying Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, but he understands the concept of not excluding non-Christians.
Okay.
And what he does is he says Happy Holy Days.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, see, we can't say happy.
I think it's great because it's acknowledging from the perspective of the person he's saying it to that their holidays are in fact holy, whatever they happen to be.
Right. But we can't say Happy Holy Days because what they're doing isn't holy, though.
To us. We're not saying it's holy to us. We're saying from their perspective, their holiday is a holy day, and we are wishing them a happy holy day because it's holy from their perspective.
My final thought on that would be, as another alternative would be, as you could just simply say, hope you guys have a pleasant Christmas, which would imply safe,
or a wonderful Christmas,
or something that you don't wish them ill will, but you're being respectful.
But I don't. Happy is merry. To be merry is to be happy.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see the distinction between saying Merry Christmas and Happy Christmas.
Oh, I
happy
think
Holy Day, Happy Holiday, whatever.
I think there is a big difference though, because Merry Christmas has been on every postcard, every gift card across the globe, but Happy Christmas is unique. You're stepping aside to make a point to not say that because you're trying to be distinct. There's a chirp going on really loud. I don't know where it's coming from, but we do have a call. Caller, welcome to the show. Please tell us your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Jason Akers.
Jason Akers, my man, pest control. All you callers out there, this is Green Acres. What is it on here? Green Acres Pest Control.
Green Acres Pest Control.
Yeah, is that?
Oh. YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I
there you
go. Get logged in all the time. I used to log in as Jason Akers, but I switched the account. So I've been just logging on with this one all the time. But,
you're good. Hey, you guys, all you viewers out there, if you have a house, you're going to want to find a good pest control something or other. This something or other is something you want to go to the YouTube channel, Green Acres Pest Control, and subscribe. This dude is a nut. It's hilarious. Got a lot of good teachings on there, and it makes it fun. Jason, what's up, brother?
I wanted to ask a question. I know that y'all were talking about Hanukkah and everything, but it kind of had to do with what the last caller was talking about with church and the past relative.
Yep, right.
And I can hear myself, like on a speaker or something.
You want? Hold on. How about now? Try it again.
Okay. Yeah, that's better.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
But anyway, what I was going to ask is it wrong to visit my mother who's buried in a cemetery?
Good one.
Church cemetery. It's actually it's a place over in Bedford County called Holy Land, and it's actually got a big, humongous white cross right in the front where you have to drive by just so you can get into the cemetery.
Wow.
And it's where she's buried, and it'll be 4 years in January, and I haven't really visited her lately, and I feel bad, and I'd like to go visit her, but I don't know if what's right and what's wrong in that type of environment.
Man, that's a great question. Wow, because you think about other things too, other concepts about graveyard. I don't even know how Jewish people are buried, but they have this whole big thing about kneeling at a stone, as a headstone and all this other stuff, and I've heard tons of complaints about that. I've never actually been.
Well, it's Christianity everywhere there. It's nothing but a Christian burial ground. That's all it is.
Right, true. Rabbi, what's your view on that?
And that's true. Let me tell you a very famous story. I can't remember his name, of course, because my memory's not that good for stuff like this. But in the Talmud, there's a discussion about this guy who's a rabbi in the Talmud, and he goes to the what's it called? The spa, the hammam, I can't think of the word. William, the spa, the steam room, what's it called?
Sauna.
So, thank you.
That was Jason, by the way. I couldn't figure that out.
I couldn't think of the word. Okay, so he goes to the saunas a lot, and he's known for liking them. It invigorates. If you've ever gone to a sauna, it's actually rather invigorating and relaxing and everything else.
Right.
But the particular one they were talking about has a lot of pagan idols in it. And they're complaining to him about going to this spa for the steam bath and putting himself in the presence of idols. And by the time the rabbi is having this discussion, I'm talking about the decade, the century, nobody believes in these idols anymore. Okay, nobody's following these idols. They're there literally for decoration because they're statues. It's like having a Michelangelo,
right.
whatever. And his answer was, you don't understand. I am not there to worship the statues. The statues are there to worship me. And what he meant by that is that these are decorations. I'm not there worshiping them. Okay? And other people don't actually worship those statues either. They worship what the statues represent. It's artwork. It's not pagan idols that we get in front of and bow down to the ground or something.
But that's still connection, though.
Like an Indian totem pole.
Okay, so wait a minute. So Rabbi, you're saying, or are you saying that as long as the people aren't worshiping the cross itself, they're worshiping the man who died on it, that it's okay to go?
I'm saying that he is not going to the cemetery to worship a cross or
Correct.
A man on a cross or dead man on a stick or however you want to word it. He's not there worshiping anything Christian.
Okay.
He's there to pay his respects to his beloved relative.
Okay, let me spin it a different way. In the Midrash, it explains a story where what is that massive chirping sound? Can you hear that?
Oh, I can hear it.
Wow, that is really sharp. Okay. Anyway, so the whole idea was that the Jewish people were tricked by Balaam, right? Balaam told, if you really want to get them to fail, then get them to worship idols or get them to whatever. So they, the Midrash, one of the Midrash stories is that they seduced the men of Judah or whatever of the tribes with their women. And it says, as they would kneel, whatever, they would have these idols above them. And so they actually got them in this process of idolatry to get into spiritual idolatry as well. And it really points out the fact that they didn't even know they were doing it, but they were still guilty. So
say that again?
Okay, the storyline was that they would place idols above their door or above something to where they would actually have to bow to get underneath them or something like that. And it's like they didn't even know.
There's a very famous story for Hanukkah, by the way.
Okay.
Where they were trying to get the Jews to worship Zeus, and what's his name, the general, for the youngest kid, was dropped something on the ground, hoping that the kid would pick it up, but it would appear to everybody as if he was bowing towards the idol by picking up the thing on the floor.
Right.
And the kid was too smart, and he was therefore martyred as a result.
Okay.
Because the appearance But again, William, I just don't think the appearance is going to be that he's going to a cemetery to worship Christianity
Yeah, I
or anything
agree.
Christian. It's clear he's standing
Yeah.
next to a specific grave of a loved one.
I do agree.
You know, and look, he's not a Kohen who can't
Right.
go into a cemetery at all.
Right. Wait, Jason, you're not a
Okay.
Cohen, are you? He's like,
Is he still on?
yeah, he is. I found out the chirp is actually coming from the phone line, so I turned his volume down. Sorry. I hope you weren't trying to
Okay.
talk, Jason. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it was my wife. She's doing a test, and her computer's going off on me, so I went into the other room.
Oh, okay. Okay, so why don't, Jason, if your question has been fully presented, why don't we go ahead and hang up, and that'll open up phone lines, and also you can kind of watch the
Oh,
answer.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Thank
brother.
You. I appreciate it.
Okay,
buddy.
love you, man. Take care. Bye. Such an awesome dude, man. Love that guy.
Yeah, by the way, there's a really funny one here. Let me find it again.
YouTube comment.
Oh, yeah, no, it's Joe America. A guy thought he was being smart and asked me how Jews say the word Christmas in Hebrew. I told him it's Avodah Zarah. Joe, brilliantly done, Joe. Brilliantly done.
That's a good one. Oh, my goodness. Caller, welcome to the show. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question I'm seeing here on the chat.
Sure. Who am I speaking with?
It's Brock again.
Oh, hey, Brock. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
It's one that that's my Bible posted. It's saying he had purchased land, and under Missouri law, he can be buried on that. What is Judaism's view on that?
Wait, say that again. Say it slower.
It looks like that's my Bible had posted up saying that they had just bought a farm, and according to state law, he can be buried on the farm. What is Judaism's view on that?
Oh, can a Jew be buried on their own property, basically?
Pretty much.
In the end,
Okay. Oh, that's a good point. I guess as long as it's not a Cohen, right?
there's something else that's got to be understood to begin with.
Okay. All right, Brock, go ahead and disconnect, brother, and we'll let you listen in for the answer, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks, bye. Go ahead.
All right. Judaism, parenthetically like Catholicism, believes in what is called hallowed ground. In other words, that ground must be set aside for specific purposes.
Okay.
And Judaism sees this in cemeteries. Okay. If we're talking Judaism's view on a Jew being buried on a Jew's land, as long as the grave has been properly dedicated as a grave, okay, and there's a specific ritual one goes through, then it would be okay. Okay, if they're non-Jewish, then this isn't an issue. And of course, and I don't think Judaism would say you can't be buried on your own property.
Right.
By the way, technically speaking, if you want to know the truth, when you buy a cemetery plot, you are quite literally getting a deed of ownership of that little plot of land.
So that's your land.
That is literally your land.
Great point.
And by overpaying, you are paying for a what's it called, eternal maintenance of that, 10 foot by 3 foot or whatever I don't know what it is, piece of property, but it's technically owned by you.
Right.
And maintained by the funeral home, okay, or it's people who own the cemetery. But that little plot of land, 10, whatever it is, by how many feet, is yours. So you are always buried on your land, I guess you would say technically.
Gotcha.
But if we're talking about someone who is Jewish and the farm is owned by Jews, they're still going to want to properly dedicate the cemetery property as Jewish cemetery. Parenthetically, in Judaism, non-Jews are not buried in a Jewish cemetery.
Right.
So, I hope that answers all his, all the issues that may arise from it. By the way, also, yes, you are legally allowed to have a cemetery on your property, but your cemetery still must be fulfilling state and county laws regarding the creation of a cemetery.
Okay.
So he has to really look into that very carefully because it's extremely strictly monitored.
Gotcha.
You know, when people die, they die of diseases, and you don't want people catching, God forbid, the disease they died from because the cemetery wasn't properly created.
Oh yeah, right. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
And every question I'm answering tonight, William, needs to be answered also by their local rabbi.
Right, gotcha. That makes
Okay,
good.
I want to remind them that you know, they need to go to their own rabbi to make sure that what I'm saying is even halfway close to accurate.
Right. Good advice. Thank you, Rabbi, for clarifying that as well. Okay, caller, welcome to the show. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, wait.
Hello,
Okay.
this is Kathy. I'm calling from California.
Hi, Kathy from California. Welcome to Texas. I was going to say welcome to Kingsland, but Houston also.
Yeah, that's true too.
Very good. What's the question for Rabbi?
Well, I could have said I called from the state of confusion, but it is Cassie.
That's funny.
It's actually Cassie. It's Cassie.
Oh, Cassie. I'm sorry. Thank you for clarifying. Very good. Welcome.
Well, I want to thank you for both of you being here and allowing us to learn and listen. But I do have a big question.
Okay, sure.
You know, my little 2-year-old grandson was murdered, and he was cremated.
He was cremated. Okay.
He was cremated. So, what is the take on the cremation from Judaism's point of view? And also, what can be done? I mean, obviously, it's not like we could put his body back to bury him. But
Sure.
what can we do with it? I don't want to just throw my grandson away.
Right.
No, of course not.
Bless your heart.
Okay. The answer is, first of all, foremost, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yes.
I can't even begin to understand what your whole family's going through. Okay, but you're right. It's b'diavad. It's an act that's already taken place that can't be reversed. Okay, the best thing you could do, I think, would be to find a place that would accept it and bury even the ashes. And the point of having well, not the point, but a point of having a graveside, a grave, is that it's a place to go to think, remember, pray, and you know, help mourn your loss. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be to the survivor's advantage to actually have a place to go to,
right, and
not a container.
Yeah.
But actually bury the ashes somewhere.
Right.
And I know California is really strict on this sort of thing too, so you're going to have to be very careful.
Well, the one thing is that we did not want to have him buried because we didn't want the evil entities of the mother's family, who murdered him, was his mother, to come to his gravesite. My son and I have his urn. My son spread his ashes on his 30th birthday, the box that was given to him. But we have the urn here with the first part of his ashes.
Well, I mean, that's just tough. I'm not sure I could ever get past that. But the only thing you can do that I can think of is by mutual agreement with the family members, except her, to have the child buried, the ashes buried somewhere, and not tell her where they are. Mm-hmm. Because I think having done it,
she's got 25 to life, so she's going to be spending a whole long time there.
Yes, but eventually she will get out, I think. And having gotten out, she may want to go visit. And my initial response, although I'd probably have to think about it, is that the mother of that child destroyed her own rights when she did what she did.
Mm. Okay. So what if the mother, after a short amount of time or a long amount of time, whatever, does teshuvah? I mean,
how can she?
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Teshuvah in Judaism requires the forgiveness of the person against whom you have sinned. rendering murder one sin for which there is no repentance. It then falls into the hands of God to deal with directly.
Wow. Okay.
Upon
How
her
do
death.
we ever forgive her? I can't forgive her for what she did to us.
I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
Is she required to forgive her for this?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Cassie. The question I just asked Rabbi was, is Cassie required to forgive her for doing this? And the answer was absolutely not. I don't know if that helps you.
Sorry. I think it will. You know my son. My son is Grant.
Please let me explain some things. Please let me explain some things, because it's extremely important to me that you hear me. Okay?
Yes, sir.
In Judaism, if I sin against William, you do not have the right to forgive me for what I did against William. What she did against her own child, you have no right to forgive, because you are not the child. The only thing that you can, I didn't say should, I didn't say will, the only thing you can forgive the child's mother for is the hurt you incurred when this happened to the child. Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
In other words, you can only forgive the mother for hurting you by murdering the child. However, you do not have to forgive the mother of the child. And here's my reasoning on that. Judaism explicitly says that a person who is to be forgiven must become, for lack of a better term, a changed person. That it is not enough to say and to feel, I'm sorry. It's not enough to say, I'm sorry I did this. It is not enough to say, I'm sorry I did this and I won't ever do it again. The issue at hand is, has she become the type of person who would never do it again? If it is believed that by forgiving her, you are giving her, for lack of a better term, a hechsher, a Jewish seal of approval from you, your personal seal of approval of what she did, and she would take that as a, gee, I got forgiveness now, I can go do it again. You're not allowed to forgive her. You're not supposed to forgive her if she's going to take your forgiveness as a seal of approval on her actions, or like she's given permission by you to go do it to somebody else.
Oh my God.
Wow. You also, and this is just as important to discuss, Cassie, I hope this is going to make sense to you too. And I think we've discussed it on our show before, but it doesn't matter. There are two definitions to the word forgive. The first definition of forgiveness is where you no longer hold the person who hurt you culpable for what they did. You no longer hold them in debt to you for the hurt they caused. When you hurt somebody, let me rephrase that. When somebody hurts you, the natural normal feeling is that they now owe you. It's, we say we forgive a debt. Okay, it's like they owe you because they hurt you. It's like, and forgiving them with this first definition is you no longer hold them in debt to you for having hurt you. This is what we call the gift we give someone else, the gift we give to the person who hurt you. The second definition to the word forgive is where you let go of your anger and disappointment and bitterness and grudge against the person who hurt you. This is what we call the gift you give yourself. You're not holding on to the bitterness that can strangle you. There's 100 different ways this is said. My favorite way of saying it is holding on to a grudge against someone who hurt you is like drinking poison and expecting that person to be killed. Or they'll say, holding on to a grudge and the hatred and the bitterness and the anger for having been hurt is like holding a burning coal and expecting them to get burned. So a person can do forgiveness, the first definition, without doing the second definition, and a person can do the second definition without doing the first definition. And I know it's hard, and I know it's impossible, and I know it may take decades to work through your own bitterness and anger and hurt and grudge against this mother and hatred for her for what she did, for what she put you through. And one could argue, Cassie, that you will be a better person just to let go of that bitterness inside you. And maybe that's true, and maybe it'll take decades, and maybe you'll never reach that point. But you could do that without having to forgive her and letting her off the hook. Do you see what I'm saying?
She robbed me of my entire future, my bloodline.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, there's no way to replace that. Okay? This is not like she can make amends as best she can. One of the requirements for repentance. What are the requirements for repentance? Real repentance. First, acknowledge you've done something wrong explicitly to the person against whom you've done it. Number two, feel sorry truly for having done it. Number three, make amends as best you can. It doesn't mean you can totally make up for it, but as best you can, make amends. And then the fourth one, which we've already discussed, is the process turns you into a person that you were not before. You become a person who would never even think of doing that hurting anymore. Okay,
This is the most
the child is no
difficult
longer
thing in the
here
world.
to obtain forgiveness from. That's one thing. Okay, she can't make amends because, as you put it, she just destroyed your future through that child, through that grandchild. Okay, you do not have to do definition number one. Okay, most of what definition one would cover cannot be done because the only person who can give that kind of forgiveness is the child who is no longer here. But it is very possible, maybe, difficult, hard, takes a lot of inner strength to do the second definition, to reach a point where this bitterness and grief and anger and hurt and all these negative feelings that can weigh you down, okay, to lessen and lighten. But it does not require the first definition. It does not require the first definition. Sometimes people lose their rights as parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and whatever by how they treat someone. You know, Judaism, if it is anything at all, it's a very practical, practicable religion. And Judaism is not going to demand of someone to forgive the unforgivable.
Right.
If you go by the first definition of what that word means. And there might be rabbis out there who will disagree with me, but show me the page, as they say.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. Show me where it is.
Cassie.
And even with that, I might personally disagree. Okay.
You're here right now, and you were the one that I chose to call.
Well,
and I truly appreciate it. And I do want to tell you, his name was Grant. You know my son Grant. He calls in frequently.
Sure.
But I named my little grandson. I helped deliver him, and I called him Chance because he was my only chance to be a grandma. And I ask that you folks keep my son and I in your prayers.
And we definitely will. And we definitely will, Cassie. But I am so sorry she is putting you through this. I'm sorry you have to endure this. Somewhere along the line.
It's literally killing me.
Somewhere along the line, Cassie, somewhere down the road, you're going to meet a child and their family, and that child will be to you as close as a person could be as a grandchild. Somewhere down the road, you're going to meet a child who can be to you somewhat close, maybe to the grandchild you lost.
Thank you for saying that.
I only pray to God it becomes true.
I don't want to die being not a grandma.
Well, there are ways to be a grandmother, but not by blood, and I hope you find that.
There are a bunch of my son's friends that, you know, I am kind of grandma to their kids, but I'm not close to them like I was my grandson.
Well,
I love them.
Maybe not now, Cassie, but maybe not in the near future, but maybe somewhere down the road you'll be able to open up your heart to them and be as close to them too, like you would have been with Chance, with Grant.
Indeed. Cassie, be strong. Stay in there. You can't give up.
Stay in touch with us, please.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, honestly, I just wanted to die.
But you can't.
I understand that, but I'm very glad you didn't, and I sincerely hope you do not.
Yeah, indeed.
Because there's a lot of kids who would get a lot out of knowing you. There's a lot of children who would, might get off a path in the wrong direction by getting to know you.
Yeah, indeed.
I cannot
and that would be a loss to them.
Cassie,
I appreciate that, sir.
You've got to stay strong. Seriously, giving up isn't an option. You got to hang in there. There's other people who need you.
Exactly.
So.
Well, I love my son. He's my whole world. He always has been. Since the day I found out I was going to have a baby. And I named him Grant for success. It was like God grant me this gift.
Well, please God, there'll be other gifts to be granted.
Yeah, for sure. Cassie, do keep in touch with us, okay?
Thank you, sirs. Both of you.
Okay.
Until we meet again.
You are very welcome.
All right. Shalom, shalom. Be strong.
Take care.
Okay.
Yeah,
you
shalom.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow. Man, that's tough.
Wow. That's a tough thing.
Yeah. I think it's going to be our stopping point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's wrap it up, man. That's kind of hard to focus now. So, okay, cool. Well, Rabbi, thanks for all your time.
Always.
Yeah. All right.
Somehow I just don't feel like finger dancing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, viewers, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Central, Monday night, for a special TNT. I won't tell you the surprise yet. You just have to tune in and find out. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
אני אתה אתם תמיד תמיד כולם ביחד חשוב מכל חשוב והכרחי להיות ביחד איפוק זו העוצמה ויתור זו הגדולה השאיפה והכמיהה אני אתה אתם תמיד תמיד כולם ביחד חשוב מכל חשוב והכרחי להיות ביחד